years, I've changed completely.
Tenía miedo,
I was afraid
porque tenía una familia que no tenía.
because I had a family to support.
Yo sabía que tenía problemas, tenía que enfrentarlos.
That I knew that I had this problem and I had to face it.
Y he llegado a la hora.
And the time has come.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Y Dios lo bendiga.
And God bless you.
Your Honor, I think that this entire matter can be summed up with the simple phrase that actions do speak louder than words. Walking out of the hospital, fleeing to Mexico, changing your name, all of your identification, coming back over, and during the course of spending the 18 years here, picking up 3 additional driving while intoxicated offenses, actions are speaking louder than any words that he's going to be able to tell you. He wants to tell you that he's changed, and yet before the court you have a PSI. When asked what his version of the events were, he simply states, my brakes stopped working. My brakes were not working. One of the witness statements that's been admitted into evidence, Mr., and I'm probably mispronouncing, Contreras, he shows in very detail what happened. He talks about a truck flashing its headlights, coming up too close to a vehicle, going into the southbound lanes like he was going to pass them, coming back over, slamming on his brakes, and starting to fishtail. You don't fishtail if you lost your brakes. So 18 years later, when he has an opportunity to explain to this court that his BAC of .25 resulted in the death of another individual, James Leeson, he has the opportunity to explain to this court, he's going to tell you it's his brakes. It wasn't his brakes. It was his actions that day, and now 18 years later, his actions for these past years come before this court. Because of that, we're asking the court to sentence him to the max of 10 years. Today, this offense is a 20-year punishment. The reason we're here on this date is because, again, of his actions. The most we can get is 10. I would ask the court to award and sentence 10 years total. We're also asking the court to make an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon.
Family waited a long time for justice. You're very fortunate that the maximum is only 10 years. You certainly deserve longer. Any legal reason why I cannot sentence you to life? All right, having found you guilty, is charged by indictment, and there be no legal reason why I cannot sentence you today. I assess punishment of 10 years confinement in the Texas Department of Corrections Institutional Division. I assess a $10,000 fine. Restitution in the amount of $5,061.50 to the estate of James Paul Leeson, care of Noel Leeson, ordering that you not return to the U.S. illegally, and I'll make an affirmative finding for DWI.
I'm happy that the sentence was the maximum. I'm saddened that it couldn't have been more. I don't feel that it's a just sentence, but it's the best that we could get.
Was it difficult seeing him? Is this the first time you've seen him?
Yes, I had seen him in the hospital. He's across the hall from my father and spoke excellent English at the time. I was never going to be close because you can't give up a life for another life. It doesn't make it any better. But it's a sense of relief that he's finally paying for his crimes. My dad, I wish he were here to see the verdict. I wish it hadn't been involuntary manslaughter. I wish my dad had just been hurt, walked with a limp the rest of his life. I wish my dad could have been here to see this.
Can you tell us a little more about him again? You're saying he was a volunteer, like war movies?
Yeah, my dad was in the Air Force 21 years. He was a TI during Vietnam, trained a lot of young men. And my dad made it through Thailand during Vietnam and came back. And his first love was always working with civil service. And he was on his way to his civil service job that day.
Sorry, go ahead.
My dad was a good man. I loved him. I miss him. And a lot of people miss him.
Can you tell us what it's been like these past 18 years without your father and not knowing and uncertainty?
It's been hard to not know if the man who killed my father would ever be caught. I felt like if I moved on, people would forget about my father, and that without Betty Burns, this case never would have come to this today. She sacrificed a lot of free time and a lot of tears, and we wouldn't be here without her. It's a debt I can never repay.